Good evening and welcome. My name is Scott Lilly. I am a counselor at Glenbard East High School in the western suburbs of Chicago, and I am very excited to welcome you to the latest installment of our virtual college exploration series for the Illinois Association of College Admissions Counseling and with StriveScan. Tonight, I am going to introduce Veronica, who is going to tell you all about one of my favorite gems for if you're ready to head south. If you want a school that's got a little bit of everything in it, as well as nice weather, you can't look any further than Tampa. So before we let Veronica get started, I want to give you just a couple notes about how this is going to go this evening. First off, I want to let you know that your microphones and your cameras are going to be off the entire time. However, we do want to encourage you to ask any questions you might have. So as Veronica's presenting, she's going to be keeping an eye on the Q&A for you. So if you have a question, go ahead and pop it in there. She'll try and respond to that during the presentation. If not, at the end, she's going to get a transcript and be able to respond to you after that. So if you got a question, we encourage you to put it in the Q&A. She'd love to answer that for you. I also want to remind you that this is just one of many sessions we have available through this program. So after this program is over, we encourage you to go back on the IACAC website and check out some of our other sessions we've had for the past month. There are actually 370 videos that will be in the database, so there's plenty to look at. And also want to remind you too that this session itself is being recorded. So if you miss anything during the time when Veronica's talking, go back and check it out. Or if you had friends that have been talking about Tampa and they weren't able to make this evening, send them our way to IACC's website and have them check that out. So without any further ado, I will get out of the way and I'll introduce the star of the show, Veronica, who's going to tell you all about the University of Tampa.
All right, great. Thank you, Scott, and welcome. I'm going to share my screen now, pull up a little PowerPoint, and we will go ahead and get started. Okay, so welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your Thursday evening to join me. My name is Veronica, and I am the admissions counselor for Illinois. I'm actually originally from Illinois as well. I am from Vernon Hills, Illinois. I attended UT and graduated this past May of 2020. And while I was a student, I studied communication. I was on the dance team, involved in Greek life, and I also worked in admissions. So that's a little bit of background on me. And now we're going to jump right in and give you some background on UT, highlight a bunch of different areas. You're definitely going to want to stick around until the end when I can answer your questions, and I'll have a little surprise for you. So we are located in West Central Florida, and we just like to point this out so you can see where we are in relation to some major neighboring cities. So if you are an Orlando Disney fan, if you like Magic Kingdom and all those different fun parks, it's about an hour and a half from our campus. My sophomore year, my sorority sisters and I all went to Disney World for $30 with the ticket and transportation included. It was such a steal, something really fun to check out on an extended weekend, or perhaps the Miami area about 4 hours from our campus. But more specifically, you'll hear this area referred to as the Tampa Bay Area. So that encompasses the neighboring cities of St. Pete and Clearwater. Both offer really vibrant, different feels from the Tampa city itself, but make up the larger Tampa Bay Area. So it's really an extension of the Tampa city itself. They offer beautiful beaches about 30 minutes in either direction to St. Pete or Clearwater. As a student, this is something I took advantage of, especially coming from Illinois. Once January rolls around, you'll be making all your friends jealous while you're snapping photos at the beach. So you can get there via zip car as long as you're 18. You can Uber with some friends, join the beach club, whatever way you want to incorporate this into your weekend routine. If you are a sports fan and you've been following, you know that Tampa is in the news in terms of sports right now. Lightning just won the World Series. The Rays are in the World Series. The Lightning just won the Stanley Cup. The Bucks are doing really well. We're hosting the Super Bowl. So this is a great year for sports. Typically, students will get discounted tickets to these events and shuttled over to the events as well. So as a student, I would go to Lightning games. It's a lot of fun to take advantage of the major sports in the area. In addition, there's so much in the Tampa Bay area offered, from arts and culture to museums, different events such as Oktoberfest. This park in this picture right here, Curtis Hickson, is directly across from our campus. They will host all sorts of free events, yoga in the park, mac and cheese festivals. The Humane Society will bring out puppies to the park. So there's a lot to take advantage of within walking distance. And this is the Riverwalk that runs along for 3 miles along the Hillsborough River. So you can bike, jog, hop on and off, and access different restaurants and shops in the downtown. So again, it's really a greater extension of our campus, and that's something unique to Tampa and our campus location. So UT is a private institution, meaning it is the same cost for in-state and out-of-state, which is great coming from Illinois. We are medium-sized, so roughly 9,600 students, not too big, not too small. You're constantly seeing familiar faces and new faces as well, and that's something I really enjoyed as a student. And we are independent, so we don't have a religious affiliation. So as I've been saying, Tampa has this really unique environment where we have this urban environment with a campus feel. And what that means is when you're on our campus, it feels self-contained, tight-knit. There are no major city streets running through it, but you have that accessibility to the downtown. So it's just the Hillsborough River that separates our campus from the downtown. There's a pedestrian bridge, so you can take walks into the downtown, partake in those events, go to the theater, see a live show at the Strass Center, go to Amalie Arena and watch a Lightning game. All of that is within reach. And we have students from Massachusetts to Madagascar. So this is something I also really enjoyed about attending UT was the diverse student body, not only socioeconomically, ethnically, and geographically. We have students from all 50 states, over 130 different countries, and the average student studies about 1,000 miles away from home. So you're definitely not alone if you're coming from further away. So at UT, we like to say that our students are metropolitan and that you like the city, active, you want to be involved both on and off campus, and independent and that you can study further away from home. So switching gears here a little bit in terms of academics, our class sizes are roughly 22 students, so pretty comparable to what you're probably used to in high school with a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So you really get that personalized academic experience. You're not in a large lecture hall, you're not just a number. Your professors are gonna know your name, they're gonna know when you're in class and when you're not in class. They are accessible with office hours during the week, and they're a great resource since many of them have a background in the field that they are teaching. You can utilize them for potential internship opportunities, jobs, all of that is, again, at your fingertips. So we are part of something called the Coalition for College. So typically schools that are associated with this application are more socioeconomically and ethnically diverse, and students graduate with lower loan debt. So this is just another one of the many ways that you can apply to UT. You can use the Coalition app, the Common app, or the UT application. All of those are treated the same. So at UT, we offer something called the baccalaureate experience. This is where you might be taking some courses outside of your intended field of study. So for instance, as a communication major, I was still taking courses in science and math, something that I've definitely struggled with, but helped me to be a well-rounded individual and develop those critical thinking skills. So you will be taking some courses in the first 2 years outside of that intended field, and you'll also be placed in a first-year seminar course. So let's say you're interested in studying sports management, you'd be placed with sports management students, a sports management faculty advisor, and they're there to help you navigate that transition from high school to college, make sure that you're adjusting well, taking the right courses, and navigating potential career paths. We also have an honors program at UT, so there are definitely some perks associated with the honors program, such as honors courses. We have honors-specific housing, research fellowships, a very unique partnership with Oxford University in England, so students can study at Oxford, which is a very prestigious, very expensive university, at UT's cost. And you might recognize this image right here, the Harry Potter dining hall. So really cool opportunity to take advantage of if you're invited into the program. You will find out at the time of your acceptance. The criteria to be invited is a 3.7 unweighted GPA or a 3.5 with some AP IB courses. And then from there, it's your choice whether or not you want to join. So at UT, we offer over 200 different areas of study, just about everything under the sun, with the exception of engineering and architecture. And some of our programs will require a separate application later on. So those would be nursing, education, and athletic training. And then our performing art majors will require an audition. So there's a lot of flexibility. If you're coming in as undecided, that's okay. You will have time and tools and resources to figure out your major. You're not going to fall behind. It's very, very common. You can also consider double majoring or majoring and minoring in a field that are unrelated. So at UT, we really like to emphasize learning by doing, experiential education. So getting that hands-on learning approach and taking what you've been taught in the classroom and applying it to a real-world scenario, whether that be through the on-campus facilities or potentially locking down an internship in the future. So I can only scratch the surface and talk about a couple of different areas where this is applicable, but it goes way beyond what I'm going to talk about today. So for instance, in this upper right-hand picture, we have our cybersecurity computer labs. Down here is a pitch room for our entrepreneurship students, modeled after Shark Tank. And there are some different innovative and collaborative spaces for students to engage in work outside of the classroom and brainstorm and start to apply what they've learned in real world scenarios. If you are interested in marine science, for example, we do have a field station about 15 minutes from campus. Students will get transportation over there, and they'll use one of the 4 marine vessels to go out and collect samples, do research, and bring that back into the wet and dry labs. If you are interested in nursing, we have a top-ranked program with the #1 hospital in Florida just 5 minutes away. So a lot of students will do their nursing clinicals there, and of course, they'll utilize the labs on campus. So we have a brand new building, the Graduate and Health Studies building. This houses our nursing students and has all these dummies that can give birth to twins. They can bleed, spit in your face, cry. Super fascinating, about as close to a human as you can get. So you're really getting that hands-on experience. And this building also houses our graduate PA program. So this upper left-hand picture is what's complete, and beneath it is the rendition of the second part that will be soon to follow. And just some other areas to touch on in terms of experiential education. If you're interested in finance, we have a financial trading room. So students will trade real money in real time. Fine art students get to utilize a 3D printing fab lab. Our communication journalism students have a black box studio, UTTV station, radio, and the list goes on and on. So if you are interested in either fine arts or performing arts, I have some great news for you. This is a brand new building. It's actually set to be complete in the spring of 2021. So right now, this is the rendition. The outside is complete. They're just finishing up some of those final touches, but it's going to house all of our fine art and performing art students, have a brand new theater, different practice rooms. So I'm really, really excited for that to be complete in the near future. And now we're going to talk about internships a little bit. So this picture also, I just want to point out what a good job this picture does of illustrating that proximity to the downtown. So you can see our campus right here with that pedestrian bridge connecting us to the downtown. So we have that accessibility to internships within walking distance, which is pretty unique. And we're not competing with any major university, since the nearest university is about 10 miles away. Those students need transportation to get there, whereas our students don't. So we really take advantage of that. We have a career service office on site. They will host internship fairs, job fairs, resume review days, mock interviews, drop-in sessions, all that good stuff. So you're feeling confident and prepared to start networking, building relationships, and locking down an internship. And we have a lot of great partnerships within the downtown area. So for instance, Bank of America, the zoo, the aquarium, judicial courts, police station, sports arenas, the Sun Times, Fox 13, Strauss Performing Arts Center. The list goes on and on. There's definitely an opportunity for everyone since we are in such a metropolitan area. And real quick, I definitely want to touch on studying abroad. This is probably my biggest regret of college. I did not study abroad, but we have over 1,000 programs in 60 different countries. So there's a lot to take advantage of, and there's a lot of different ways you can incorporate studying abroad into your schedule, whether that be for a semester, for the year, a travel course, or over the summer, you can see what works best for you by working closely with our International Studies office and figure out what program you are most interested in. But I definitely recommend looking into it sooner rather than later. It's a little bit easier to transfer in courses when you're taking some of those gen ed courses than the upper level courses later on. It's really important that no matter where you go, you love where you live and learn. And that's something, kind of a slogan here at UT, is building that home away from home. Like I said, since about the average student is traveling 1,000 miles away from home, it's really important that you find a sense of community and involvement and engagement on campus. So with that said, I think what played a huge role in my involvement and my overall happiness and ties to UT was living on campus. So first year students are prioritized to receive on-campus housing as long as you submit your housing preference form and deposit prior to the May 1st deadline, and it is fully refundable up until then. So at UT, unfortunately, freshmen cannot have cars, but I personally did not find that to be an issue, especially coming from out of state. I felt like it would honestly be much more of a burden and more trouble than it's worth. I did bring a car down my junior year once I decided to move off campus for my senior year. But there are plenty of different ways to get around on campus. Something really unique to Tampa is actually this downtowner in the upper left-hand corner. So this is a complimentary shuttle that'll take you anywhere within a 3-mile radius from UT's campus. You can use it to go to the grocery store, an event downtown, wherever it might be. The Zip car you can rent as long as you're 18. So let's say you want to take a weekend trip to Disney or to the beach, you can do that. You can rent bikes from UT for free. There's a street car, there's a water taxi. You can obviously walk. There are plenty of modes of transportation. You definitely don't need a car. So right here are some images of first year student resident halls. So they are designated freshman resident halls, and they are all set up in a similar fashion. So you'd have a Jack and Jill style bathroom, no community bathrooms whatsoever. Housekeeping will come and maintain those restrooms once a week. You'd have an RA and a study room on each floor. So they're all going to be set up in a similar way, and they're either a double or triple, just depending on what you preference. You can either go in as random and fill out a preference form of, I like to stay up late and I like to do this on the weekend, or whatever it may be. So you get matched with someone that's a like-minded individual, or you can meet up with someone beforehand and plan out your roommate. And then here's a closer look inside of a typical first year room. They're super nice. I loved living on campus. I lived in Vaughan. You can check out all the resident hall videos on our website too if you want to see what each resident hall looks like. But again, they're pretty similar. So everything that's wooden comes with the room. So the desk, the dresser, armoire, and the bed. And something that's really handy, just a little tip, if you're not familiar, Bed Bath & Beyond will actually let you scan items. Let's say you were going to come to UT, you can scan your items in Illinois, pick them up in Florida. So that's what I did, and it's super convenient. But moving along to upperclassmen resident halls, these are set up apartment styles. So you'll have a common living area, common kitchen, individual bedrooms, and eventually if you do look into living off campus, we have an off-campus housing coordinator that's there as a resource to help you find affordable housing within the area. And of course, we don't take safety for granted, so we do have campus safety officers patrolling 24/7 in golf carts, a mobile alert system, so let's say there's inclement weather, you'd be notified immediately. Blue lights located throughout our campus, and we also have gate card access into the resident halls, so it's only residents coming in and out of those residence halls. And if you like to stay active, the good news is we have a 2-story, newly renovated fitness facility, all the cardio and weight equipment that you could ask for. You can take advantage of personal training, different fitness classes like Zumba, yoga, cycling, whatever it may be. It's a great place to unwind after a long day of classes. And we are an NCAA Division II school. We are part of the Sunshine State Conference. So if you are an athlete, I would definitely recommend getting in touch with one of the head coaches, introducing yourself, and filling out the recruiting form with your times and all that info. If not, you can always swipe your ID card like I did and get into the games for free on the weekends as a student. And we also offer intramurals. So if you're looking for that camaraderie and just getting active and involved on campus, it's a great way to meet new people and get involved right off the bat. So right here are some important application deadlines to take note of. We are rolling admissions and these are all non-binding, but right now we are in early action 1. So what that means is if you apply anytime between now and November 15th, you will have an official response from the University of Tampa by December 15th. So just keep this timeline in mind so you don't miss any of the deadlines. Perhaps you want to wait until later on because you think your first semester senior year grades are going to boost your GPA a whole bunch and help you in terms of admission or merit-based scholarships. Maybe hold off. If not, I definitely encourage students to apply sooner rather than later since we are rolling admission. So for the terms summer and fall of 2021 and spring of 2022, we are test optional. And at UT, what that really means is that sending us your test score is not going to hold any weight in the admissions decision or merit-based awards. So you definitely don't need to send a test score. It's not going to hurt you to not do that. But instead, what we will ask for is your official high school transcript, your essay, and at least one letter of recommendation. And again, you can find us on the Common App, Coalition app, or the UT application. I don't believe there are any transfers in this session, but if that is the case, it's pretty similar in terms of admission requirements. We will just ask for your high school transcript if you've completed under 17 credit hours. All right, so everyone's favorite topic in terms of cost, UT is roughly $42,000 sticker price. That does include room and board, and that number can fluctuate a little bit depending on if you preference a triple room. That cost would go down. If you select a smaller meal plan, that cost would also go down. And then just keep in mind about 97% of our students receive some sort of financial aid. So that would be grants and scholarships combined. Our average aid package is roughly $11,000. And we do have a net price calculator on our website that I invite you to go in, check out. You can plug in some numbers and it will spit back out a more realistic cost of tuition for you. And I'm sure you're aware that the FAFSA became available to you on October 1st. Take advantage of that, fill that out. That will let us know if you're eligible for any UT grants as well as any governmental grants that will later on be a part of your full financial aid package. And at UT, we offer very generous merit-based awards. So these are awards that you're automatically considered for. You don't have to apply separately. For incoming freshmen, this ranges anywhere from $4,000 to $18,000. You're finally being rewarded for all your hard work in high school. We're going to look at your GPA and course rigor. Oops, it says I'm signed out. We're going to look at, uh-oh. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, you're still good, Veronica.
Oh,
You're still
you see this pop up? I'm not sure what that's all about. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of it. Let me just slide it down here and we'll just ignore that. So as I was saying, we're going to look at your GPA and course rigor to determine eligibility since we are test optional. Uh-oh. It's not letting me advance to the next slide. Everyone bear with me. I'm not sure why this is popping up. This might have something to do with it. Let me stop sharing real quick. Sorry. And let me see if I can share again and if that'll fix the problem. Still not doing it.
Veronica, you also lost your filter behind you when that happened, so I don't know if there's a sign with Zoom.
Sorry, you're seeing my messy bedroom that's actually not really mine either. So you're seeing some sports flags that I typically wouldn't have. So can I exit and come back in, do we think?
I think we can give it a try. Go ahead.
We're going to give it a try. I apologize. Thank you.
All right. Again, sorry for the disruption right now. If you want to hold tight just a moment, we'll see if we can get Veronica back in there and finish up with the presentation. So again, apologize for the delay. Just hang tight with us. We'll be with you in just a moment.
Hi, sorry, I don't know what happened. I still don't have access to showcase a virtual background. So I apologize. I'm going to keep my background like this. I'm going to try and go back into the presentation and pick up where I left off. I'm nearing the end, so I sincerely apologize. I've never run into an issue, but we're going to roll with the punches. It's 2020, so this happens. Oh boy, bear with me. Oh my goodness. All right, well, we're gonna pick up from right here without going through the other slides. So I was nearing the end. Of course, that happened right at the end, but the next slide would have been that graduation is ultimately the goal from UT. So most of our graduates report having success upon graduation. As I mentioned, that career service office is on site and they will work with alumni. So even after a student graduates, they definitely have the career service office as a resource for internship or for job opportunities, to look over the resume, that additional connection, anything like that. And we're also a military friendly school, so we do have the Army, Navy, and Air Force present. And then lastly, I would have just had our social media handles up so you could stay connected, learn about different upcoming virtual events such as our open houses and Science Day. So I apologize for all of the technological glitches. I clearly live with a boy, so I have some messy background going on that I was totally embarrassed when my virtual background cut out. But I'm going to stop screen sharing now, and then if there are questions, leave them in the Q&A. And like I said, the little surprise is just that I have a fee waiver for anyone that attended the session. So I'm going to put my email if I can. I don't think I can actually, but I should have a transcript of the attendees, so I should be able to shoot you an email with the fee waiver. If not, my email is listed on the UT website. It's pretty simple, V as in Veronica, Urso, URSO, and you can just at ut.edu shoot me an email and I will provide the fee waiver. But if there are questions, I am here to answer, and I'm going to look at the Q&A box. And again, I apologize for all of the technological glitches, but we almost made it through seamlessly.
I think you're okay, Veronica. I think that's just the nature of the, like you said, the world we're living in right now. Sometimes the tech cooperates, sometimes.
Yeah.
So, so again, any questions we have for Veronica, let's go ahead and put those in the Q&A. We'll go ahead and respond to those. Veronica, what would you say, to the families that say that, wow, Tampa, it's so far away. You having come from the Chicagoland area yourself,
Mhm.
what was the big difference maker that really convinced you that that was the right place for you?
Yeah, I'm really happy that you asked that because that is something I hear a lot. And as a high school student back in Illinois, I would always hear people say, well, I'm going to go to a school so I could be close to home. Little did they know they were going to school, 4 hours, 6 hours by car. I'm going to school 2 hours away by plane. So it's all about perspective. So I, in theory, was a little bit closer sometimes. And students tend to go home for the major holiday breaks. There's not a lot of time when you're a college student taking a heavy course load to just travel home on a whim, even if you are, 4 hours away. So I'd come home for Thanksgiving, holiday breaks, the summer. My parents would gravitate toward visiting me. So again, just depends on how you look at it. But I'm really glad that I stepped outside of my comfort zone and I explored other options.
That's great. And I think it says volumes about the fact that you spent 4 years at that school getting your degree. And what did you want to do when you were done? You wanted to stay at that school. So,
Exactly.
exactly. So, again, for those of you who are thinking about, a school, a mid-sized school that's got a little bit of the best of all worlds, and hey, the weather's great as well too. Uh, Look nowhere else other than the University of Tampa. Wonderful option. So, Veronica, I'm sorry that things didn't work out exactly how you had planned, but I thought you did a great job of making that work. We really appreciate your presentation this evening.
Yeah.
And again, we want to encourage anybody who has any questions to make sure you follow up with Veronica. Just look up her email address on University of Tampa's website and connect with her, and I'm sure she'll help you out. So last couple of things I want to do before we wrap up. Veronica, any last points you want to make sure you remind our audience about?
Just stay on top of those deadlines. Reach out to me if you have any questions. Like I said, I'm happy to provide a fee waiver, even if you're watching this session a little bit later on. Just reach out to me. I'm happy to do that for you and walk you through this process. I know it's new territory and definitely challenging navigating the college decision and search process during COVID-19. So I am there for all of you. I was in your shoes not too long ago, and I'm happy to chat beyond this presentation at a later date.
Hey, and if you're interested and if she's going to give you a fee waiver, why wouldn't you apply? Find out what your options are. So that step. So reach out to Veronica with any follow-up questions, as well as getting a hold of that fee waiver. We're about to close this off. This about concludes our presentation this evening. But when we do, I just want to give you a heads up. There's going to be a quick 4-question survey that's going to pop up when I close this up. If you wouldn't mind answering those questions, let us know how we're doing with this program. And finally, one more time, I just want to remind you, recordings of this session and all of our sessions that we've had for the past month are going to be available on the IACAC website. So come on back and watch this presentation again. If you got further questions, maybe we went a little too fast and you want to catch up, check it out, or share it with your friends if they couldn't make it out this evening. Make sure they have a chance to connect with that for this presentation and others. So once again, I want to thank you, Veronica, for a wonderful job that you did. Way to be flexible with the situation, and best of luck to all of our viewers on their search process. Reach out to your counselors and your admissions people to get assistance. And again, thank you for participating in our program. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.